I don't envy the engineers who had the task of designing a new version of the modern icon that is the Mazda MX-5, but I have to tell you, whoever it was, they did an excellent job. Personally, I wasn't convinced about the look of the front when the first pictures were released, and there are some angles where it looks a bit like an open-mouthed shark, but in the flesh, I have to say it works well. And at night, its combination of DRLs, squinty side lights and LED headlights, which are excellent by the way, give it a low-key but still aggressive profile. The rear styling is a perfect combination of taut haunches and a kicked-up rear, and we particularly like details such as the aerial on the rear wing and the funky tail lights. For the moment, the fabric soft top is manually operated, and while that might be counted as a negative on some cars, the MX-5 turns it into a virtue. The whole process takes no more than 5 seconds or so, and you can do it easily from the driver's seat, leaving it all neatly folded away behind the rollover bars. The interior has been updated to match the rest of the Mazda range, so that makes it a quality place to sit, and we particularly like the turbine-inspired air vents and the body-coloured door tops. All but the base model get Mazda's excellent MZD Connect system with optional navigation, and this even comes with a pair of speakers mounted in the headrests, although the sound that comes out of them isn't necessarily brilliant given their size. If Mazda wants something to improve on for the next model, we think they should include a digital speedo in the otherwise excellent instrument cluster, perhaps by using the space for the gear shift indicator within the central rev counter and offering a choice between the two. There is one point we have to make about the MX-5's interior, and it's that it's a bit cramped. The steering adjusts only for height, not reach, and tall drivers will find climbing aboard made difficult by the handbrake because it takes up space where your knee would go. On top of that, right-hand drive models have a rather curious lump in the floor that limits where you can put your feet when trying to get in or out. Despite all that, there's plenty of storage space in here, with a lockable glove box between the seats and another pair of spaces behind them, plus a fairly decent boot with about 130 litres of space. Powering the MX-5 is a choice of either a 1.5 litre petrol engine with 130 horsepower or a 2 litre with 160. While the 2 litre model is exactly a second quicker to 62 miles an hour, on the road there's actually surprisingly little to choose between them. Okay, obviously the larger engine has more torque, while the smaller unit demands that you wind it up to get the best from it. But the thing is, Mazda actually engineered the MX-5 for the smaller 1.5 litre unit, only adding the larger 2 litre primarily for the US market. What that means is that what the 1.5 loses in terms of raw horsepower and torque, it more than makes up for with a better balance in its chassis and a finer set of responses. You see, the 1.5 has a perfect 50-50 front to rear weight distribution, whereas the heavier 2 litre is slightly nose heavy, and while the difference may only be 25 kilograms or so, the impact it has on the car's attitude, turn-in and even braking is quite evident. They both have the same cheeky exhaust note, and with a roof up there's a pleasing amount of intake noise piped into the cabin, while an extra layer of soundproofing on the roof helps keep wind noise down on the motorway, although we did detect a few whistles during crosswinds. Over the old model, the steering is slightly quicker with fewer turns, and as it's now electrically assisted, it's lighter at parking speeds too. Feedback is actually pretty decent, and compared to the old model, this new one feels slightly pointier. Mazda's engineers have become masters at crafting gear shift actions, so it's no surprise that the MX-5 has a beautifully stubby lever and a short throw that matches its well-chosen close ratios. 2 litre models get a limited slip differential and Bilstein dampers, and while the ride is definitely firm, we'd say it's also perfectly judged. We spent a day trudging up the M1 in our car, and although I didn't enjoy having the handbrake digging into my leg for 300 miles, at no point did I grow tired of the ride. At least part of that is the fact the MX-5 is just so much fun to drive on almost any road and at any speed. While some cars demand that you put your license at risk before they reveal their true character, the driver of an MX-5 can be having the time of their life while bumbling through town at just 30 miles an hour. The fact that this amount of fun can be yours for just 18.5 grand is frankly remarkable. No wonder the Mazda MX-5 is the world's best-selling 2-seater sports car.